All right, this is a good one. Are you comfortable being weird? This is this is this is a really good measure to check one's inner freedom or one's awakening progress, because we're multi-aspected beings. We're not one-trick ponies. You know, we don't just play the same character all the time. I'm a serious character, or I'm a spiritual character. I'm super spiritual. I can't say things that are like considered maybe silly or childish, or got to be really careful with sense of humor because somebody might think you're weird. Somebody who's free, number one, you're in touch with these different aspects of yourself. Number two, this might happen. This happened to me. When you start to become more aware of your own peculiarities, your weirdness, your craziness, then something inside might really enjoy that and want to capitalize on it, even embellish on it. It's almost like it restores some kind of balance on a more universal level, because most people, they walk around so tight. Everybody's just trying to be so tight. No, now that's one extreme, but I'm not a proponent of the other extreme to try to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate like my radicalness, my weirdness, my craziness. Look how crazy I am. I'm not talking about that either. It's a balance. It's a balance. But the real introspective question that I'm trying to point to is, well, number one, are you aware of your own uniqueness, that your own unique weirdness? Number two, if you are you comfortable expressing that? This is a big deal. This can make, for me, man, the freedom. I just wouldn't be here today. That's what got me by in life. That, not being shy of expressing my weirdness. Now, I did it too much because there's just so much damn fun, because the average robot in society, they don't understand it. So I started grooving off their reactions, growing up, and saying things at inappropriate times, and making light of things that other people think are heavy. So there's a certain wisdom that comes with that. You can't just, you got to be a little careful. But I tend to push the envelope for sure. But there's a great freedom that comes with that. You start to feel whole. Like there's a holisticness. You're not just playing the same rigid role all the time. People that play the same rigid role all the time, they know somewhere inside something's like trying to tell them, like their inner voice is like, loosen up a bit. Why don't you let some broaden your expression? Let these hidden aspects that you've suppressed so long, why don't you let that come out a little more? It whispers it though. Intuition talks very, very, it doesn't scream things. The mind screams stuff. So that's the problem. The mind, their conditioning, overrides this, you can say, inner voice that's trying to help them feel more free in their expression. The mind overrides that, and it doesn't do it clearly. It does it in kind of a static way. But the tendency that the mind creates is like, you shouldn't do that though. Especially if you're already playing some role in society. Especially, spiritual teachers have this the worst. It's like they can't be free. They gotta just be locked into this spiritual role all the time. Oh, can't let these other aspects out. Somebody might perceive it the wrong way. Man, let them perceive it the wrong way. Those aren't your people anyway. You want to weed out those people that don't belong in your life, that misunderstand you, and that don't have subtle perception, that can understand this. Because here's the thing though, they can't understand this unless they understand it in their own self. If they understand and accept these peculiarities in their own self, they're gonna rejoice when they see you expressing it. You're giving them permission to shine. They're giving you permission to shine. Great. Then you go outside and shine together. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. See? You don't do it in a disrespectful way, although that can be subjective too. Somebody can say, think you're being disrespecting, but really you're like just being you. Where's the line? You see? This is why this channel, I talk a lot about introspection. Because like, where's the line? Where do you cross the line? Only your intuitive voice can tell you when you cross the line. And furthermore, this is a subtle trap, man. It really is. Not being flexible. Flexibility, high level spiritual principle that it's not talked about a lot, because people can spend lifetimes, as some of you know, chasing sense pleasures, trying to fulfill your senses, trying to extract a sense of joy from external pursuits or dopamine hits, external, success, satisfaction, the right relationship, money, etc. Spend lifetimes trying to pursue all that. And then at some point you realize, damn, nothing out here can satisfy me. That becomes a realization beyond mental belief. There's a big difference between mental belief and actual living wisdom and realization. So just as one can spend lifetimes totally identified with, you can say, the egoic human character, which is a divine mistake, by the way. We have to do that for a while. How long? I don't know. Just as one can waste a bunch of time doing that, one can also waste a bunch of time being this polished, kind of conditioned, conventional character, spiritual character. So this is a deep, subtle conditioning that's not checked a lot. It's more talked about, being identified with the ego, chasing external things. On a wider collective level, that's talked about more. But the subtle, playing certain roles, it's not talked about much. The subtle conditioning we have that goes unchecked, thinking that we need to fit in a certain mold or certain way, that's not checked. The mind will justify and say, well, no, but I'm being polite. I'm being polite. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Are you? Are you really being polite? Or are you just perpetuating this robotic conditioning that everybody's like doing all the time? Everybody asking each other, hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm good. Okay, bye, see you later. Doesn't that sound like a tape recorder? Nothing against asking somebody how they're doing. If you really want to ask how they're doing, maybe you haven't seen them in a while and you're like, yeah, man, what have you been up to? Something, make your own words. Don't follow the script. I'm just saying, try to check yourself. Real awakening is spontaneous when all this conditioning gets discarded. Can't learn awakening. What happens is you get rid of all the identity and conditioning, and then you feel free. You don't label that as awakening. You're free. You're your natural self. Great. Wow, are you awake? I don't know, man. I'm not thinking about that. I feel good. I feel free. Yeah, but are you enlightened? You don't get into that stuff. Those are words that, for the mind that's still trapped in identity, that's trying to get out of it, and so then it needs some projection, some projected future to give it some hope. So it starts chasing enlightenment and awakening. So that's the message. You do your introspection, you check, you see, where am I being fake? It takes a real badass, though, I gotta tell you, to do this on the deepest level, because this whole world's against this. Even spiritual this whole spiritual conditioning, man, it's real and it goes unchecked. And the ego loves spirituality. It goes from being worldly conditioned to now being spiritually conditioned. It's not talked about a lot. It's perpetuated by spiritual teachers and books and all this stuff. And it's like a lot of people, they get worse. You find a spiritual community or practice, you get worse. Become more phony than you were before you had it. So just check this stuff. Be one with your inner sanction. You and God are a majority, I keep saying, because in the end it's like that. You're gonna have to, something has to have some intestinal fortitude and trust your inner authenticity, and you just do that and be that. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter the kind of reactions you get for a while. And once that signal gets solid, once you're solid in that authenticity, your broadcasting signal is going to be sharp. It's not going to be wavering like, oh, I don't know though, maybe people won't like me. It's going to be solid, and then law of magnetism, law of attraction can work, and you can start finding your people. But you got to jump off the cliff to see if like you're going to get caught. You can't. People want to know, well, what's going to happen first though? Like, if I be authentic, is it going to turn out good or bad? Doesn't matter. You have to get to where being authentic, that's all there is. You can't help it. There's just no choice anymore. You're just like, I have to be authentic. If people don't understand, that's okay, good. Okay, bye. All right, God, me and you. This is how it should be anyway. And then your people will come in time. That's my message. All right, see you.